How y'all doing today? My name's Ayin, and today's topic of discussion, is going to be nobody is on every day. Nobody is on every day. Now, when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about a lot of things that I've been through in my life, and I'm sure a lot of other people can relate because nobody is just one consistent way, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Nobody's the same every day. You got ups and you got downs. That's just how it is with human nature. And I think about how, there's been occasions where I like to consider myself a jovial, outgoing person that's rather upbeat. But one thing that I've had to do, especially when you're talking about in the workplace, is since you know that you have ups and downs and everybody has them, you want to deal with people even keel. You want to deal with them on the most consistent way possible. So one of the things that I found, and I'll just use this as an example. I'm going to use two examples in this video. I use this as an example. I'm thinking about in the workplace. Through my youth and, past, I found that, just because you're coming in one day, you may feel joking, feel like joking with people, playing, and you're just all on cloud nine. Then another day, you may feel down in the dumps. That's all fine and good for the way that you're handling things, that you're taking your ups as ups and your downs as downs. But what about the other people that's around you? How do people know how to react around you? Okay, this day that I came in, I'm joking, I'm playing around. It's just, anything goes. This next day I come in, don't talk to me. I'm not in the mood. I'm just not having it. Okay, well, how do people work with that? How do they know what dial you're on? It's the same thing with relationships, friends, anything. Now, like I said, a lot of people, they can use their best judgment to decide, on what they're dealing with. But when it's from one extreme to the next, it's just really hard to know on what you're getting on that day that you choose to deal with that person. So with that being said, one of the best things that makes it easier, not only on you, but the people that's dealing with you around you is, you find a happy medium in between there, to where if you're on a high, you're just really feeling high on that, that day, or on a day that you're feeling low. That's the reason why we talk about on this channel on, discovering your strengths and your weaknesses. So you'll know what you're working with when you're dealing with other people. Hopefully you can find it in yourself to find a happy medium on just being you. Another example that I'm going to say, I use the workplace as one example. The other example I'm going to say, this was in my book, Kilimanjaro was the Arithmetic of Family Communication. I mentioned a time where I'm speaking to a sibling. It was a sibling that I just recently, talking about in some years' time, found out that I had in my life. So as I was getting to know this person, and we were talking over the phone, they had gotten the vibe or the sense from me that I'm really upbeat, I'm really fun-loving, I joke, just, lightly put, like to be, like I said on this channel before, like to be a breath of fresh air to people. And this sibling, they would call and we would talk and, go back and forth, and I would just be being me. So one day they had called, and it was nothing that I can think of. This is some time ago. It was nothing that I can think of that I was really down about or bothering me. It just wasn't a day that I wasn't, feeling feeling like joking around. So when they called and they talked, I just kind of seemed, more relaxed and at ease. And they, well, what's wrong? You're not yourself. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. Well, I'm just used to you sounding, more so like this than like that. And one thing I had to explain to them was nobody's on all the time. Even if you're fun-loving and you're happy, and that's about 80% of your character, you're not like that all the time. So it almost put me on the defensive with the way that, I kept being pushed with. There was no altercation or anything that taken place from it, but it almost put me on the defensive of, okay, what are you calling for me to, pick you up? Are you calling for me to, lift your, mood or the way that you're feeling because you feel like getting a laugh? Because I don't feel like it today. That's the point of my video when I'm talking about nobody's on all the time. So think about this when you're at work. you're at your place of employment and you're having these relationships and you're forging these relationships. And these are really important relationships because it's a workplace. So you're trying to behave and react in a professional manner. This is not like your personal life where people are, going above and beyond, or beyond those boundaries, I should say, to get to know you. There is going to be a certain line drawn in the sand because it's work. It's supposed to be some level of professionalism. So since you're walking that level of that professionalism, you're wanting to be even keeled. You don't want to be too high up. You don't want to be too low down. You want to be even keeled. And you're wanting to keep your personal life separate from your work life. So that's another way in assisting you in doing that. Because do you really want to go down the path of when you come in and you are just feeling like super low? It's at this point where you're coming into work and you're bringing all the drama and things that really shouldn't be brought in, whether you're a supervisor, whether you're an employee. Do you really want to forward these type of relationships? Have this stuff where it's just this big ball of mess where things is just blend all in. And then when you come back in on another day where you're feeling up, you're just like, man, I really wish I wouldn't have divulged those things about what I was going through. It was just something where it was in a moment of me being weak. And I discussed them. Now I got my business all out up here. That's different when you're talking about with friends, because when you're talking to things about with your friends, I can't really ever think of a time where it'd have been like, I divulged that. I shouldn't have said this or that and other. Because if it came across my mind and I was comfortable in talking with them about it, then, hey, it's fair game. But doing that at the workplace is a whole nother thing. Okay, so I'm just, like I said, with these two examples that I'm talking about, being in the workplace or just having relationships in general, know who you are. When you know who you are, you'll know what you're giving other people. This oils or greases the relationship a little better. It makes it easier to maneuver around. Let people know, who they're dealing with. That's all I'm saying. I just want to take time out to discuss this today. In the meantime, if you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. Go follow me on my social media, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter, the whole nine. If you hadn't already, check out a book I've written. Leave a link in the description box. Kilimanjaro. Actually, the name of the book is Kilimanjaro is the Arithmetic of Family Communication. The book is on Amazon. You can get it in a paperback or ebook copy. Okay? In the meantime, stay encouraged. Avoid being discouraged. I'm Ayin. You have a good one.